Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday beauty event. And we could not be more excited to have two of our amazing makeup artists on tonight. So remember, if you are a guest tonight, please put your name in that chat section. That is super important for all of you tonight because we want to make sure that you are with us. So we have Amanda and Jackie, and I'm going to bring them up here and we're going to do a little bit of a gallery view. So there we have two of our amazing, beautiful makeup artists. So, Jackie, how long have you been doing makeup?
So I think I started learning truly. I've always loved it, but started really truly learning and taking some classes in 2012. So it's been a minute.
She's one of
Yeah.
our Mary Kay makeup artists, and I know you've done makeup with other people too, also too. Amanda, how long have you been a makeup artist?
Just a few years, but I've always loved makeup. I'll never forget my first eyeshadow. It was sparkly purple and it was all over my lids when I was little. So I just have always loved makeup.
Well, I know you guys have gone through extensive training and lots of different things to learn all the different tips and techniques, and we're here to talk about some subjects that sometimes are a bit confusing. Okay, so I want to just share a screen share first on a topic we're going to cover right now, and it is called concealer and under eye corrector. Now you'll notice all the different colors that we have. So I don't know who's going to go first, but here's a couple questions. Who uses concealer and why?
Amanda, you want
I
to take that?
will, I'll take that one, Jackie. Okay, so concealer can be used for a lot of different things. The main thing somebody would go to is maybe under the eyes. We want to brighten it up, but it's really hyperpigmentation, maybe like rosacea. We have like redness in our skin. Maybe we have the occasional pimple that comes up, and we're looking just to even out the discoloration that happens in our skin. So I would say that's main reasons why we want to use concealer.
Okay, so sometimes people say they do it underneath their makeup, they do it over their makeup, they do it after their foundation and powder, and then they put it on. What is the actual order of application with that?
So again, I think makeup, you can do it however you like it and want to, but what I'd recommend, and Jackie and I both agree on this, we use our under eye corrector as our foundation before we actually put our foundation on, whether that's CC cream or powders. We are targeting, and Janice, I think we're going to talk about corrector as well.
Yeah.
But I layer my corrector, then I put my foundation on, then I put my concealer on top. It can be worn alone or with our, any
So
of our
under eye
foundation.
corrector, foundation, then powder, and then concealer, or no?
No.
Okay.
You want to do, so I like to say liquids blend together. So I use my corrector, which is a liquid. Maybe if you're going to use a foundation, a powder, Jackie could disagree, but if you're going to use a powdered foundation, I would put your concealer on and then your powder. Because if you put your powder on and then a liquid on top of it, it kind of becomes gluey and it doesn't blend very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Rule of thumb, a liquid should always go down first.
Okay, so let's talk about concealer first. Okay, we have lots of different shades. Now, since I'm super white, do I want to go my shade, a shade darker? How does that work?
There are
So
some different schools of thought, but you go ahead.
no, I'm like, Jackie, if you want to take it, you can.
So this is something that I've learned a lot over the years, just in spending time with other makeup professionals. Is I used to go super super light on my concealer, and what would end up happening is there would be a huge contrast, right, between my face and my neck, and then my eyes. And sometimes if you wear a shade of concealer that's too light, what you're going to end up doing is just kind of highlighting the problem area. So recently, honestly, I've started to wear a shade of concealer that is closer to my actual skin tone. And I am kind of happy with that result, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. If you want to go a shade lighter, absolutely. If that looks good on you, then that's great. But for me, that's what I like to do.
Okay, now who's doing the demo here? So we've got moisturizer on, we have primer on.
Yes. I've already laid in some DC 110 on my skin and I already went in with my corrector. So we do have an under eye corrector. Why do we use one? It is closer, it's more peachy. It's closer to like the dark circles that we want to eliminate. It's a blue hue. And then this will help cancel that out before putting on your neutral foundation. And I know that there is a gap in our portfolio in terms of this color shade and what we offer, but we are aware of it and we have definitely taken note.
Okay, so you would use this underneath your eye, under eye corrector. How can you show us, Amanda, what you're doing with that?
I can do a little dab for you, and I'll take my glasses off so y'all can see. I probably already have little notes, but I don't have much today. I did get plenty of rest last night. I'm going to do a little dab, and it's up to you whether you want to use your finger or you could use one of our brushes. I'm going to go in just with my finger because I don't want to smear too much of my foundation just yet, but you just dab that in on the go. You don't need a lot.
You don't need a lot.
Well, okay, it's up to you. You can be heavy-handed with it. You can use that doe foot and take it all the way under your eye. But I did a little bit there. Okay, Janice, now do we want to talk about next? I would put my CC 110 on, which I already have on.
Just that little dot.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I have
You can
darker.
go a little heavier. You can go heavier, depending on, maybe you didn't get a lot of sleep. You were with the kids, you pulled a double shift. There are different reasons we might need a little extra.
Okay. It's that blueness that it takes away the blueness.
Yes, if we think about a color wheel, blue is like on the opposite side diagonally from orange. So it's canceling out. I don't know if we can add on it later, but okay. So then I put my foundation on, and next, Jackie is so right. I used to go and I'm already pretty, especially in the winter, I'm a little paler, lighter. I would go with our just straight up light ivory, and it's a little bright. So I actually tend to go with our
I like light ivory. I use it too.
deep, I go deep ivory.
Okay.
It's a little better for me to match towards the natural color of your skin. You're going to get a better finish. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to dab it underneath here. Exactly about here. Here. And then I take mine up in the corner, just a little dot, little dot. If you had a fancy event, you can actually take it down by the nose. And then if you wanted to add contour is a whole nother game here, but you can take this up towards the bridge of the nose and drag it down to create a smaller nose effect if that's what you're looking for. It's super trendy with the people.
If you want your nose to be smaller, that's what you
everybody wants their nose to be smaller for some reason. I guess it's cutesy, but here's a hot take. I give mine a minute, 30 seconds to a minute to let it sit and get a little more full coverage, a little more tacky. So I'm going to chit chat with you for a second before I blend it out. Now I don't have our beauty blender. I didn't pack it at home, but this is just a generic one. I have wet mine under the sink, and I would encourage that with ours as well. It's a little firm if you're using it dry. So I run it under water, squeeze it out. You want it to start getting soft. And then I'm going to blend things out. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, let's say you don't want to use a beauty blender. We have an amazing cream color brush that is a flat tip and diagonal. So for me, I actually am going to take this in on the corner. It's up to you. Using a tight space like this, the beauty blender can get a little dicey if you've already done your eye look, because I don't want it to affect that eyeliner. So I'm going to just lightly tap. Remember, this skin underneath the eye is so thin. So we don't want to be really rough on it. We want to be really delicate. Just like we apply our any eye cream, we're using that ring finger because we won't use a lot of pressure. And then I'm going to carry this up and out. A fun tip is if you have a wing liner like this will help clean up any eye look. Or you could use the opposite end of our spoolie brush with that really fine line. You could take a bright concealer and really trace underneath your cat eye or winged liner. then I like that the way it's blended. And then I'm gonna come in around the nose and blend up, create a little more contour effect here.
So Amanda, I've seen a lot of people, if they're going to contour their nose, they would go a little darker with that concealer shade. What made you go with that same shade?
So I want a really light effect. I would, if I wanted to create a little more
Definition.
toner, I use my concealer first, and then I might go in with a light, maybe a hazelnut, on the smudger brush and lightly trace the bridge on top of my nose once I've set all of my liquids, because I am a little bit lighter skin and that might work. Now, if you have darker skin, then you're gonna want to pick, you could go with a darker, if I had, you could go with a deep beige, or if you had super dark skin, you're gonna go with a lighter concealer, maybe this light bronze, to create the opposite effect. Does that make sense? We're playing into your skin tone, whatever you naturally have, you're working with different lighting to create different dimension on the skin.
Amanda and Jackie, if you guys have a little bit of uneven skin tone, can you use this concealer to make it a little bit more even also too?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. One thing I always like to say is it's really a step-by-step process, right? You're going to start with that corrector. You can use that, yes, under the eyes, but if you've got some other discoloration on your skin, you can use corrector for that as well. Then you place your foundation on top of that, let it sit for a second, and then you may not need as much concealer as you think you do. So it's like, taking it one step at a time and truly kind of seeing the result from each additional step.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, that's, a lot of times people say, okay, where do I put it? How do I put it? Does it go on or off? So after you're done with your concealer and your under eye corrector over your foundation, well, actually some of it is under, some of it is over. Okay. Then you can put your powder on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But before I let y'all go, I'm gonna take 2 shades. I'm gonna be using, I wanted to show a quick demonstration of if I were to contour with our concealers as well. Now you can get into face shapes, but I have more of a heart shape face, and it just changes. Sometimes you feel a little, thinner in the morning, but I'm gonna go in and just dab in through my cheekbone. You have like a little bit of hollowing, or where we hope to have hollowing out, in a actual contour effect. Like when people talk about contour, Janice, we want to talk about creating a natural shadowing on the skin. And you're not forcing. So Jackie's going to talk about what the difference maybe between bronzing versus contouring, but I'm going to elevate the natural features on my skin. So I'm going to just drag along just a little bit here. They have a little more gray tones in them for my skin.
And that's
And then
our contour color.
Yes.
Okay.
The concealer.
The
I'm sorry,
concealer, you could use it. You could use it as a contour.
Okay. What color are
And
you
let's
using?
say I don't want too much on my chin right here. I want to shrink it. So when we're putting color in here, and let's say, in my opinion, I think my forehead looks too large, or I'm going to be wearing my hair up, so I don't want a lot of extra side here. I'm going to round and draw my contour into the forehead. Now, I don't have to do that. It dwindles down to personal preference, truly. But if you want to ever shrink your forehead, you're going to put a little more coloring up here to draw attention down towards the eyes, as well as this chin. I'm dragging it up because my face is a little more long and oblong here. I'm wanting to scrunch it down because I'm going to be wearing my hair up today.
So what shade are you using?
Oh, I did. Guys, I should have worn my contacts. I think I did light bronze. Yes, light bronze.
Wow. So that's a
So
concealer, light browns on a very light girl.
I know, but later on, I'm just gonna go in and blend. It takes a while. You blend the process. It's like Jackie said, it is a process. It does take time if you want to layer, but you don't have to use as much as you think. And then I might go in with like our honey glow or something to warm up my cheeks and forehead as well.
But you would use this with an exception of the powder, the highlighting and contouring powder we have. You would use this as that then.
You
I would
can.
maybe do both.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it
would do
looks so
both.
good, Amanda. It looks great on you. Wow. I would never
Thank
think
you.
that is such a great idea. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, or should we pass the torch to Jackie while I sit here and blend this out?
Well, we're going to do contouring and highlighting and all that with the powders too. But you know, this
Yeah, we
there's
are.
a lot more you can do with the concealer. It's not just concealing, it's also doing this, which I never even thought about, which is really, really great. And it looks amazing. And I love the sponge. I always feel like your product is eaten alive by the sponge, but there's a purpose for it.
There is, and that's the trick. So you don't ever, I personally don't use my sponge as my applicator. I would rather use my fingers or incredible brushes first to work the product in. The blender is blending, it's not an application. Because it will blend the product in, but then it starts to soak it up. And that's when you feel like your foundation is being eaten up.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we got to go to the powders. Jackie, do you want me to show a picture of those? Should I do that real
Sure,
quick? Okay,
go for it.
while Amanda is doing her skin there, which is great.
Yeah, y'all can put some comments in of encouragement as I blend.
There we go. So we talked about the concealers and you see the different colors. And you used the lightest one and then you used a bronze one, which is really interesting. I like how you did that. And then we have the under eye correctors. So we have that. So let's go to these, and we have contour. We have a cocoa color and we have a latte color, and the highlighter is glazed and honey. So you're going to need to tell me like what skin tones, or does it really even matter, Jackie? Or how are you going to do this? Because these are really great ways to contour. And of course, I have the brushes. Okay. So
Yes,
tell me where you're going to
absolutely.
start.
Well, and as you saw, Amanda's very fair skin, but she used a light bronze concealer to contour her face. So really, it's all in what look that you're going for, right? So again, just like Amanda was talking about, I have my liquids down. I did my corrector already. I did my foundation. I have a little bit of concealer. I haven't done anything to my cheeks or put on any powder other than my all over face powder. So I used a silky setting powder.
Okay.
So contouring, again, it really is, it's not something I do every day. It's really, what are those areas of your face that you want to slim or define? For me, one of the things that I'm starting to get a little anxious about is my jawline. So, as we get older, it just becomes less defined because of the elasticity in our skin. So I am actually going to use the cocoa powder,
I might put you on
contour powder.
I think the speaker will come on. Go ahead.
So this is the cheek brush. So this is a multi-use brush. It's got that indentation there. And so since I want to make a line, I'm going to squeeze it and put the powder right there on the edge. So I'm just going to come here along my jawline.
Oh, can you do that to me every morning, Jackie? Okay.
And this probably looks really dark, but I just want to make sure that you can see it, right? So, and I'm not going to leave that stark line there. What I'm going to do is blend it down. And so that's just going to kind of give the illusion that my jawline is a little more angled than it actually is. And so that's part of the magic and the tricks that we can use makeup for, right? It's super fun. So I'm just going to show you here on this side as well. Just creating that angle and blending down. So it creates that shadow and makes it look like a little more angular than I actually am. The other place that I like to, if I'm going to contour for the day.
Together then, Jackie?
Yeah, I just kind of blended it down.
Okay, because I still see some right there on the side.
Here?
Yeah, just on the other side. So it's just all, basically you're doing it just to blend down and give yourself that definition.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah. And the other place, if I'm going to be contouring for the day, is again where a lot of people like to do is give that illusion of a little more of a what do we call that, Amanda?
The cheekbone, the hollowness of the cheekbone.
Hollow, yes. So it can kind of slim your face. And so again, we don't want to overdo it, but I'm gonna just do it pretty dark so you can see it really well. So I'll put that right there. So it's kind of, if you can see, it's like the top of my ear, but not all the way to the top. So, and then I'm just gonna blend that really well, and then I'll blend it down as well.
But Jackie, why are you not going up?
Well, what I'm going to do up here, because if you see, you can see the difference already. Like that looks like I've got more hollow there. Over here, it's less definition. So it's just a lot more defined here. So what I'm going to do above that, I still want to put my color because I haven't put blush on. And then above that, I'm going to add highlight. So I'm going to go ahead and just do, again, I'm using this same brush. And my cheek color is going to go right above.
And what is that color you're using?
This is Rogue Rose.
Okay.
So we have so many really great colors. I like a bright cheek. I think it wakes up the face. And then I'm going to I don't want it to look too stripy. So I'm going to make sure to kind of blend down as well and bring it up here to the temples.
So the difference between contouring and highlighting.
Yes. So contouring is anywhere you want to add shade, right? Definition. Highlight is where if you can think about just anywhere you want to lighten the skin. So for me, I like to, and it's, pretty standard. People will use highlight at that very top of the cheekbone. So I'm going to come in with it's not the Honey Glow. It's the Glazed. And I'm going to place that right here, right on top of where I applied that cheek color.
So you contour first and highlight second.
Yeah. And really the order that you do it, I think most people like to, they place their contour down and then they go back in and see, okay, where do I need to lighten a little bit? The other place that I really like to use a highlight is in my Cupid's bow.
Oh, me too.
I love to do that. I can't even explain what it does. Sometimes it can make your lips look fuller. The other thing I know a lot of people like to do is a little highlight on the nose, right? It just kind of brightens up your face a little. I also like the look of, if you want to take it up here, do a little cross. It's just going to add that glow to your face. So, yeah. So you can see the difference there. I didn't do anything over here. So you can see it's just much more definition. I look glowy. I look awake on that side of my face.
Okay, so we have 2 contours and 2 highlight colors. So let me go through the colors here and tell me what skin tones are you looking at with these. So let's look at our contour and cocoa latte. So we have cocoa and latte, and these are the colors that you would put in that hollow area, correct, Jackie? And also here for definition. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And
yes.
Skin tones.
So your cocoa is going to be better for your darker skin tones. I actually just used it though. So it's all about the amount you're using, the look you're going for, and just blending, because like I said, you don't want to look stripy. And then the latte, is better for the more fair skin tones.
So Amanda, you would use the latte.
Yes, but Janice, I'm never afraid of a dark shade. If you can go light-handed and you can layer it slowly, the smidgest amount can look incredible, but then I would really go into the latte and use that as a main choice. And it depends on your occasion. So when y'all see me at leadership, we're going with a full glam face. You're gonna see all of the stops.
Okay. All right. And then this?
Same thing there. The honey glow has a little bit more pink peach in it. So honestly, sometimes I will use that even as a blush because it's kind of on the neutral side and it's a little peachy, but it also gives you that shimmer. And then the glazed is just more of it's a lighter shade. That one I like better for the fair skin tones, and then the honey glow goes better for your deeper skin tones. But again, it's all relative. It's, try them both and see what looks the best for you.
And so why do people contour and highlight? I mean, Amanda, why do people contour and highlight? What's the purpose of it?
I think it's to just reshape your face in a way that you want to appear, to make you feel more confident or to have a little fun. So I don't know if you noticed when I finished blending, I went back in with my concealer, and something that's kind of trending right now is the concealer beard. Oop. And so what that means is people are like taking concealer all at the bottom and dragging up to underneath where that contour already happened. And I do have rosacea on my cheeks, so that redness, it helps cancel it out a little bit. But they're gonna take concealer all the way up here and they're gonna blend it out. If you think about, if you're looking at photos and you have all the editing abilities, when you add shadow and you increase that intensity, you're finding the darkness in the photo. And that's what Jackie was explaining when she put it in on her cheeks. That is what's being emphasized. And if you click the highlight button, you're gonna like find all the brightest parts of your face and your body and whatever else is in the background. That's what we're wanting to emphasize. That makes our face maybe a little more plumper. Or if you're wanting, I mean, that's the magic with makeup. I could have brought that contour down if I wanted to like really have some jowls here as a little bit younger, a little bit puffier face. Maybe I wanted to elongate the face, more of like a Cher look. That's something that's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Jackie, you can see the difference just looking at you straight on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and the side. So you can see that. And you're more of a beige tone as Amanda's more of an ivory tone. So I see how you use the darker ones, but I think it's just a layering process to do that. Now, does it look different with CC cream versus foundation? What is your thoughts on the difference of coverage and all that and how this comes out?
I think that Amanda usually uses CC cream. I'm not sure if that's what you use today. I like a little bit fuller coverage for most days. So I use the TimeWise 3D foundation in the Luminous formula. I do like the coverage that it gives me, and it's buildable.
Yeah. Amanda, your thoughts?
I skipped out today. Well, the way I look at it is when I do use CC cream, I'm not going to a formal event. I'm running around errands. I might be going into the office. It's like more of an errand day, more of a casual look. So I'm not really building in an intense contour look, but I definitely might add a little bit of shadowing with the latte on top of my CC cream, and definitely like a lighter powder look. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. So let's say you're going out tonight and you just been at office all day, but you want to do something that really pops. Now, back in the day in Mary Kay, we used to have a white highlighter, and they used to teach us this, and it may or may not be a real thing, but they used to teach us to tap in a little bit of C right here of the lighter color because it made your eyes look bright. Yes, no, I don't know. So, we used to teach that in the day. We used to tap a little bit right here. That could even be a ChromaFusion eyeshadow, which is the crystalline. To tap in here, or a really light color.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that in terms of 2025 talk, that's what we kind of do with highlighter, and then maybe that honey glow is we're not carrying it too much higher into that extended crow's feet, but we're definitely, what Jackie was pointing out, is we're building it right under that eye. It's where a lot of people place the highlighter. So you're just, way ahead of the times.
And it's to make you look like you're more awake after you're tired. Yes? Okay. So it's like, okay,
like we all are.
I'm in the office. I now have darker circles. I need to use my under eye corrector. I can layer it. So even if you've done it in the morning, you can layer it later on and just kind of touch it up before you do anything. Is that correct?
Yes, I would say definitely a little more cheek color, like a little more blush, a little more highlighter if you're going out to dinner. And then you could maybe grab your contour and do a little more cheek work to draw down the shadows down here. But again, the power of blush and a little highlight, I think, goes a long way.
Okay,
Mhm.
any last minute words on concealer, under eye corrector, contour, highlighting, anything Jackie, you want to share? Anything you guys want to say?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is just to reiterate, you don't necessarily need as light of a shade of concealer as you think you do. So play with it and just see what works best for you.
So I think what I do is I need a lighter one, then I need a darker one, because now I just saw what Amanda did with the darker one. So now I need bronze, which scares me, but I will use it, you know? So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna use the light one and I'm gonna use the dark one. Hopefully it'll work. I'll have to go back and review this whole video. And then also too, for you, Jackie, just to get the hollows of the cheek, you know, with that, contour, and just to look at that. So we do have some really great powders. And yes, to use the brush. And yes, I saw how you took this brush and you squeezed it. So that is where you can just kind of place it underneath there and stuff like that too. So, all right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share? No?
Amanda?
I agree with Jackie 100%. Janice, I think you should grab a little bit darker of a concealer. You don't have to go, like, don't scare yourself right at first. Just do a few dots, like maybe two dots, and then just work on that hollowness where Jackie placed her
Here?
pigmented contour, and just work right here on your darker first.
Right here.
Right here.
You'll feel it. So everyone make that fish. Everyone on the call can make your fish face where you pucker together. You will see where those cheekbones are. We have that cheek muscle right there. We're going to work right underneath it.
Okay, so I'm just in the white color. I need to get the dark color. Got it. And you know, you don't think like that. You think, oh, it needs to be my color. So thank you for the tips tonight. Oh my gosh, you guys were great. Can we give it up for both Amanda and Jack? You guys are always so informative and so helpful. So I just appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being on here tonight. Can we just give it up for Jackie and Amanda? Thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Janice.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Janice.
everybody.